meeting for February 17th to order. It's good to see all of you here. Particularly pleased I made it. Turnpike was a little dicey this morning, but the snow plows had somewhat been out. Our agenda today includes working 4 bills, and so I think we'll just start at the top. Senate Bill 399. That is the bill we heard yesterday on the birthing centers. Does anyone want an overview on that from Eileen? Okay, we do have I can actually call this one a technical amendment. Okay, because I often get in trouble when I call an amendment a technical amendment when it's not technical, but this is. All right. Committee, we are changing, we have an amendment, a technical amendment to switch the wording in the title. I believe that has been handed out. Is there any questions or a motion on the amendment? Senator Hildebrand.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we accept the amendment of Eileen Maw's error to fix that.
Oh. Is there a second, or would you? Surprised you didn't want to amend the amendment or the motion on the amendment. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the amendment, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. We're back on the bill. Is there any questions, or is there a motion on the bill? Senator Hildebrand.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I make a motion that we pass out Senate Bill number 399 as amended favorably for passage.
Thank you. And Senator Pittman seconds. Any discussion? Senator Cluse.
Just more of a comment. It sounds like after listening to this, it's valid and necessary request. So
I would agree. They're really, really caught in a trap that they didn't bring upon themselves, and this will help them get untrapped. So, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. 399 is passed out favorably for passage as amended. Okay, let's turn our attention to Senate Bill 400. Senate Bill 400 is the trust bill that we heard last week. And we have a balloon that has substantial changes in it, but does still remain the main part of the bill. So Eileen, could you take us through the amendment on 400? I think Senator Hildebrand's looking for one also.
Passed them out.
Okay. Okay, Eileen, take us through the amendment on Senate Bill 400.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senate Bill 400, as you stated, is the trust bill. Based on the requests from the conferees, and with your permission, what they wanted was to strike sections 1 and 2, and also to amend the definition of resident trust. So as you see on page 1 of the balloon, that's the start of the strike of section 1. And also in the title, section 1 was the provision that provided for an opt-out of the rule against perpetuities. So you'll see in the title that I struck out creating an opt-out provision for the rule against perpetuities. On page 2, at the bottom starts the strike on section 2, which was the decanting statute that was requested. And also, so you see in the title, the second portion of the second clause that was stricken strikes out providing for a process by which a new trust can be created by moving all the contents of one trust into a new trust. So we adjusted the title there. Because we struck sections 1 and 2, we had to redesignate sections. So the former section 3 is now section 1, the former section 4 is now 2, the former section 5 is now section 3. On page 6 of the balloon, resident trust is now defined as a trust that is administered in the state and that was created by or consisting of property owned by a person domiciled in this state on the date the trust or portion of the trust became irrevocable. And that is it. I can stand for questions.
Thank you, Eileen. Committee, are there questions on the amendment? If you'll remember right, during testimony, sections 1 and 2 are items that the Judicial Council is studying. And so we may have legislation sometime in the future pertaining to sections 1 and 2, but it's not ready at this time. So is there questions or a motion on the amendment? Olson moves the amendment. Hildebrand seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Eileen, is this one that we're putting in as a substitute? Yes. Okay. Committee, we're back on the bill. Is there a motion on the bill as amended? And we would like to make it a substitute bill to clean it up a little bit. So. Olson moves, Hildebrand seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. So Senate substitute for Senate Bill 400 is headed to the floor. Just a substitute. All right. Thank you.
Trying to keep you straight, Mr. Chair.
I need it. Okay, let's turn our attention to Senate Bill 448. 448 had to do with rebating. We have had discussions between the interested parties since we heard this bill, and I think there is an agreement to strike the commercial property and casualty portions out of the bill. As I understand, all parties are in agreement to that, so we have an amendment pertaining to that. Eileen, you want to give us any additional clarification on that?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is not a substitute bill. All we're doing, again, as you stated, is striking the exclusion of commercial property and casualty producers, brokers, and insurers from the rebating, anti-rebating provisions. So you'll see in the title that that clause is being stricken that states excluding commercial property and casualty insurance producers, brokers, and insurers from prohibitions on giving rebates, discounts, gifts, or other valuable consideration as an inducement to sales. In section 1, I'm striking the new language that added the exclusions. So you'll see in subsection A, instead of stating except as provided in subsection B, I'm restoring the no. And then also in section 1, striking subsection B1 and B2. Those were the portions of the exclusion and then the exclusion from the exclusion, which pertained to producer commission reductions that were not included in insurance company rate filings. So there is a subsection C that will slide up into subsection B, and you'll see that change on page 2 of the balloon. On page 5, similarly to what I just described, paragraph 8 is on rebates. I'm striking clause I and striking the language that says provided in subparagraph II and leaving, so it would read as except as otherwise expressly provided by law. And I'm striking subparagraph II, cap A and cap B. So we'll have just a plain subsection A, and then we'll move straight into subsection B on that section. Lastly, on page 7, I was asked to strike, this was the offer or gifts as being an exception from the rebating statute or rebating provisions. This would not count, as originally drafted, this would not count as a prohibited behavior, but now we're striking that to make that a prohibited behavior again. So paragraph cap B states offer or give non-cash gifts, items, or services, including meals to or charitable donations on behalf of a customer to commercial or institutional customers in connection with the marketing, sale, purchase, or retention of contracts of insurance as long as the cost is reasonable in comparison to the premium or proposed premium, et cetera, et cetera. You can read that for yourself. So we're striking that, and I'm redesignating subparagraphs again to make everything work out with the division of provisions in the bill, and that is it, Mr. Chair. I can stand for questions.
Thank you, Eileen. Committee, are there any questions on the balloon? As I understand it, this removes KAIA's opposition to the bill. I've had 2 other trade association type people contact me that they are supportive of this change, so just wanted to let the committee know that. Senator Olson? There's a motion to adopt the balloon. Is there a second? Senator Pittman seconds. Any discussion on the balloon? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. We're back on the bill. What's the pleasure of the committee on the bill? Senator Olson? Dietrich seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Senate Bill 448 as amended is headed to the floor. All right, now let's turn our attention to Senate Bill 450. 450 is will end up being a substitute bill. These are the 2 land sale bills. We had the first one that removed the 80% capers requirement. And then the second land bill that we had was allowing universities to sell donated property without returning that money to the state. So Eileen, would you take us through the balloon on Senate Bill 450?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is proposed substitute for Senate Bill 450. We're using 450 as the base bill because Senate Bill 322, which was the other land sale bill, only amended the statute that's included in Senate Bill 450. That was KSA 75-6609. So you'll see a new title being designated here. It's an act concerning state property relating to the sale of surplus real property, eliminating the crediting to the Kansas Public Employees Retirement Fund of 80% of the proceeds from such sale, authorizing state educational institutions to convey real property given to such institution as an endowment, bequest, or gift, following Board of Regents policies, authorizing the State Board of Regents to adopt such policies. So basically, all that you're going to see changes in is within the statute itself. So on page 2, on line 22, this is just a cleanup. We're correcting the internal designation and putting it into current drafting format. So instead of saying subsection C of, it's just going to be KSA 75-3711C paragraph or subsection C. Then on page 3, this is the portion that strikes the 80%. So on and after 2012, 20%, that is being stricken. So it'll read on and after July 1, 2022, that of is being stricken as well. So it'll say, the proceeds from each such sale deposited in the state treasury shall be credited to. So you don't see the 20% limitation there. And then on line 18, it starts the remaining 80% of the proceeds from that entire provision is being stricken. So that's the end portion of line 18 all the way through line 28. And with that, Mr. Chair, I can stand for questions.
Thank you, Eileen. Committee, are there questions? Seeing none, I would move that we adopt the balloon. Is there a second? Olson seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. We're back on the bill. Is there a motion on the bill? Senator Fagg?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that we move out favorably Senate Bill 450,
As a substitute, correct?
including the amendment. Yeah, as amended.
Pittman seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. You received by email minutes from January 11th, 12th, and February 8th. Would entertain a motion to approve those or amend those if there were, excuse me?
So,
Glad you do.
Mr. Chair, I will make a motion to pass out the minutes from January 11th, 12th, and February 8th. I really do.
Is there a second? Olson seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. The minutes are approved. Committee, I tell you what, you have worked so hard that I'm going to give you tomorrow and Monday off. So if you would like to have a snowball fight, recruit somebody to fight you, and off you go. Senator Hildebrand?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for recognizing the hard work all us senators do to get this work out, but without the staff, we couldn't have done that work, so.
Very well said.
And yourself as chair.
Eileen, I believe that Senator Hildebrand had a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Totally ignoring that portion of the.
Maybe you would like to restate your question. I think we better adjourn before things go sideways, so we are.